Hey guys, this is Vid/John Johnson, and I'm gonna be doing some gameplay with the Simic Nexus deck that I took to a top 4 finish in SCG Dallas. And I'm just gonna be doing some gameplay and explaining my lines and how the deck works, and hopefully you can learn some stuff along the way. So this is a pretty okay hand. We have plenty of lands, which is good. We have a Search and a Growth Spiral, which are our best early game cards. Opponent looks like they're probably on Mono Blue or Drakes. Looks like Mono Blue, which is a little bit rough. Mono Blue is a quite difficult matchup for us. We do have 2 Search for us Kantos. So what I think I'm going to do is we're going to Growth Spiral at the end of their turn, and then we'll have 4 lands to try to force through a Search for us Kanto through a Spell Pierce. There's not much we can do about that. This matchup is very difficult. But at least for the video, we're going to display the hard matchups, not the easy wins. They can be a lot more interesting whenever we're actually having to try and fight through the hate that people bring for this deck. So let's end of turn, Growth Spiral, put it in the breeding pool, tapped. And let's try to get an Azcanta down. They might counter this one, but we have a second one. The other good thing about this play is it makes it so he can't just use a Spell Pierce, he has to use an actual counter, which is good. So we got a real counter out of that, which is really, really nice. And we get to resolve our search. This is one of the upsides to playing 4 searches instead of 2 or 3 like other lists do, is we can afford to do plays like this against people who are running removal for our enchantments. We don't need another land. We'll go ahead and mill that. We could go for a Krasis. The problem with going for a Krasis is if they have an Essence Capture, we just get so far behind. So I think we're just going to hold up a Frilled Mystic and a Chemister's Insight. I think we just let the Trickster go. But we will counter the second one, because now we can block that one. And our opponent's tapped out, so Essence Capture can't punish us. So this will be a good opportunity to eat at some of our opponent's resources. We'll take that trade. And we're fine for our opponent to use their resources in that fashion. I'd much rather them be using their protection on their Trickster so that we have a higher chance of being able to bounce this Terramater. There's still a ways from being able to upgrade it. It looks like our opponent might not have a lot of interaction left. Wilderness Reclamation is good. I think this is our window to play a Wilderness Reclamation. 2, 4, 5, 6. We're not dead. So, yeah, we just have to hope they don't have another piece of interaction by the way our opponent's playing. And if they do, we're in trouble. They did. If we can survive, we might be able to get another land and drop a Krasis X4. That way we can survive the Terramander. We can't do anything with the Nexus right now. We do get a land. So if we play it X4 and it resolves, we gain 2, go to 8, block this, we take 2, 3, 4, 5. Can he evolve? He can. He has a lot of lands. 1, 2, 3. So that kills us if our opponent evolves, which they will. So we have to get a Fog. So I'm gonna try to draw a Fog. We did not draw a Fog. So that's gonna go ahead and be this game. Yeah. This matchup is quite difficult, and we do need to get a little bit lucky, especially to win game 1. We do have a nice sideboard plan, a much better plan than I had in the SCG. So, oopsie. So what we do is we take out Frilled Mystic, and we take out a couple of Root Snares. We bring in Murmuring Mystic, we bring in Negates, and we bring in Crushing Canopies. I haven't figured out the exact amount I want to bring. I tried doing like 3 Canopies, 3 Negates, 0 Fogs, and I found myself wanting Fog a little more often, because there's a lot of times where you just really need that one extra turn. So I think this is how we're gonna do it now. Having a bunch of 2-ofs isn't as big of a deal in our deck. We can to get rid of them with Azcanta or Chemister's Insight whenever we have copies we don't really need. So this is a deck that works well even with a bit of inconsistency after boarding in terms of our interaction. But I'll basically never take out our combo pieces unless we're going to take out all of our combo pieces. I don't believe in shaving things like Azcantas and Reclamations and Nexuses unless you're completely moving away from the combo. So we'll take the play. Well, we can't really do 6 lands in a blink of an eye. And this is a lot risky. This is pretty risky if they spell Pierce our Azcanta, but if it resolves, we're in pretty good shape. We do need to get a scry. We're going to try a scry for a land. And that is a land, so we'll leave that. And hopefully we can get this Azcanta down underneath the spell Pierce. Yeah, I think we just have to hope they don't have it. If they have it, at least it decreases the chances of them having it for our Wilderness Reclamation. They do have it. It's unfortunate, but it's just, in this matchup, you just have to play into it a lot of times and hope they don't have it, because that's your only chance. Because the longer you wait, the worse it's going to get. But maybe they won't spell Pierce or Reclamation. Maybe they'll just drop a threat here. Yikes. I think I'm going to go ahead and go for the Fog here just to reduce the access to cards they have. I'm definitely going to Fog here. I do not want them to draw 2. But we can get our Reclamation down potentially. We can get our Reclamation down, which is great. Our opponent is going to draw 2, but maybe we can draw something. Murmuring Mythic is excellent, and I almost think we should maybe drop that instead of Reclamation. But because of how they board this matchup, they bring in extra negates and stuff, and they take out their essence captures. It's just generally a lot easier to resolve. Well, actually, I think I have to do Mystic so that I can block the Trickster. I thought about it some more. This isn't the unblockable one. I'm so used to not being able to block their creatures. But we actually can block here. So I think this is by far the best play. As much as I want to land my Reclamation. And it looks like we'll get to land a Reclamation anyway. Or maybe the Krasis is just better. I think I want to wait and try to drop the Krasis as a 4 to handle this Tempest Djinn. Yeah, Murmuring Mystic is excellent in this matchup, especially if we can start making birds. They just can't keep up even if they're countering our spells. Well, unfortunately, we're gonna have to fire off this Krasis because we really need action. Oh, we don't want to attack. We do have a blink of an eye, which is pretty good. I think we're gonna wait to fire off till their turn though. Alright, so I'm going to try to bounce our Trickster and kill those Curious Obsessions. Or maybe I should just bounce the Djinn. It's not like the Trickster's ever going to get through. I think I do just bounce the Djinn. It likely gets countered, but we'll be able to get a bird at least. And we can block with the bird and the Krasis. If he does use his counter magic here. If he uses a dive down, then we'll probably just eat the 4. But they often board out their dive downs. Oh man, this is getting really good. 5, 6. So we can play our Reclamation and take our extra turn even if he counters this Reclamation. So that's really good. We will not, well maybe we do attack with this Krasis. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think we attack with the Crisis here. And we'll take our extra turn. He's unlikely to be able to counter this. I imagine he's just counter on the Reclamation only. He does not have a lot of cards left in his hand. Let's draw with Chemist's Insight, keep making birds. Cast our Growth Spiral. Hit a Nexus of Fate. Oh man, this is good. And we know our opponent doesn't have counters, so we're just going to start getting in with all of our birds. It looks like this Mythic is just going to take over this game. Whew, that was good. That was really good. Oh man. Yikes. Yikes. The fog did pay off there. And the fog paid off in a spot where Crushing Canopy wouldn't have done the trick, because it was on the ground target. Now the Canopy can kill the Curious Obsession, but he did have 2. So I'm glad for keeping some of the fogs in. And that really shows the power of this new sideboard plan. Being able to block with that Mystic and then just being able to make a ton of birds. And if they counter our instants and sorceries, we still get a bird. So at the very least we get extra turns. It's very, very good. I really wish I had had this sideboard playing at SCG, and I would have had a shot against the mono blue player who defeated me in the finals. So that's in my finals. It would be really great for this video if we just play against 3 bad matchups and beat all 3 in Mythic. That would be pretty sweet. This hand is pretty acceptable. We have plenty of lands. We have a Growth Spiral to cast a quick Chemist's Insight and a Fog. Pretty good. Yes. Another Growth Spiral is pretty good. Curious Obsession is not good. We could just go for the blink here. We really just don't want to interact on our own turn, though. We really want to interact on his turn. So I think we're just going to have to take another hit from this thing. It's unfortunate, but we really need to get our engine going. We can Growth Spiral, Growth Spiral. That seems pretty good. If we're lucky, he might tap out to play like a Trickster or something to speed up his clock. Oh man, it's getting more and more tempting to get this Mistcloaked Herald. I think unless he taps out, we have to try it on his turn. I have to let him draw one more card. Man, that hurts. Okay. Hopefully he develops something here. That's something. Alright, let's see what we draw. So we can shock this in and do another Growth Spiral. Now we have access to quite a lot of land. And we can go for a kicked Blink of an Eye or a regular Blink of an Eye. I think we're going to do kicked Blink of an Eye and Root Snare. Let's start on with a kicked Blink of an Eye. and see what happens from there. I don't really want him to draw any more cards. We might just do a second Blink of an Eye too. In fact, it might have been smarter to go for the regular Blink of an Eye than the Blink of an Eye. It's a play I wasn't initially thinking about, but that's probably ultimately better. We're limited on cards, so I think I want to kick this Blink of an Eye when I cast it. So instead, I'm just going to go for a Root Snare. Just trade off the card, basically, for his card. And hopefully we can get this Blink of an Eye through on my turn. Yeah, manually tap this. Or does he have another counter to protect it? No, he does not. Whew. Oh, sweet. And the Crushing Canopy is really good pickup too. Whew, I'm really glad we got rid of that. Getting rid of that Curious Obsession. And that also tells us they probably have no 3 mana counter creature spells. So I'm going to go ahead and main phase this to try to get a relevant card and try to resolve it while their shields are probably down. Well, we can play a really big Krasis next turn. That might be good enough. Opponent seems to just have a lot of mana. If they play any flyer, we're just going to fire off this Crushing Canopy right away. Okay, and we're just going to start dropping huge Graces. 7. Oh wait. 1, 2, 3, 6. Oopsie. Whenever I play in paper, I like to separate my lands into like groups of 3 and 4. Opponent did have a counter. I think he was just being really restricted with it to try to get really good value out of it. And he didn't figure the Curious Obsession was worth fighting over. Which makes sense, especially if that's his only counter. So I think it might be safe to assume that that's his only counter. So I think we can try to get a Reclamation down now. Alright, that's fine. Okay, so now we're going to be able to play Reclamation, and we're going to be able to kill his Tempest Djinn. And it should be pretty much lights out there. I'm really pleased with how this has gone. So let's get that. Let's Crushing Canopy the Tempest Djinn. And let's think. We have 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. So we can activate our Arch and Chemister's Insight. No, Arch is 6 mana, not 5. So we probably just want a Chemister's Insight. Let's see what we can get. Nexus is pretty good. Let's go ahead and just Chemister's Insight again. Opponent seems to have some sort of interaction, but he just fires it off on our card draw. So maybe we can just go for an extra turn. I think I'm going to go for a Krasis first. 3, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, let's go for a Krasis X8 first. This will pad our life total and bait out any additional counters he has for general counters. He still might have a non-creature counter. Probably should have played the breeding pool there. Let's go ahead and take an extra turn. And our opponent concedes. Whew. Another bad matchup. Awesome. So game number 3 was against Sultai, but the game just DC'd us in the middle of it and never let us reconnect. I closed the game and reopened it, and it just had us lose, so that was a little not fun and set us back a bunch of ranks. But there's not much to do about that. So we'll just get right back into this. We'll go ahead and mulligan this hand. Doesn't have any castable cards. This hand is also not amazing, but we do have a blink for early interaction and we have a wilderness, so it's keepable. I'll keep that land on top. We want to get to 4 lands as best we can. It looks like we're playing against some sort of Sultai deck. Yep. We're just going to keep playing our lands until we play our Wilderness Reclamation, and then we might use our blink to protect our Wilderness Reclamation. From Vivian Reed. Yep.
I've lost so much already. No one knows the wilds like I do.
So we will drop this. We'll get him to tick down the Vivian. We'll bounce it back to our hand, and then we'll need to wait till turn 6 so that we can deploy it and take extra turns in the same sequence. We're gonna eat 2 here. Next turn we're gonna eat 8, 9, 10 maybe. We're still most likely alive without a fog. We do have a fog as an option. So we'll fog if we need to. If not, we'll just draw cards, and we're going to try to win when we untap.
You can't stop nature.
So we'll have 6, 7, 8. If he explores, it'll be 9. It's not lethal yet. 3, 6, 7, 8. 9. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to get lethal, so we're just going to Chemister's Insight and try to get enough mana to try to win next turn. It will be tricky, but it is very possible. Let's double check. Yeah, that's 9 damage. We're good. Or if not, hopefully we get into a position where we can Root Snare and win the following turn. But we're going to start by drawing some cards to get there. Some lands. Counterspell's not bad. So we'll play this. We'll float our mana, take an extra turn. And we do get 2 turns to do this. If we had a search for Escanta, that would be ideal. So we're going to float our mana, untap, take an extra turn. Opponent's holding something up. Must be creature removal. So, well, the difference between 6 and 4 is pretty negligible. So we might as well just shock. We will take our extra turn, and then we're going to untap our mana and start trying to draw cards. Ooh, opponent does have Assassin's Trophy. They held a lot of restraint on that. We do have a Root Snare. Let's just try to draw cards and get stuff. We have another Reclamation. We can keep going. Let's keep going. Resolve, take an extra turn. We're going to Growth Spiral. Just keep digging through our deck. Let's Chemister's Insight away. Frilled Mystic. Chemister. Oh, actually, we want to cast our Nexus before we start drawing cards to increase our chances of drawing more Nexus of Fates. So we're just going to float all of our mana, cast our Nexus of Fate, and then start drawing. A lot of people will make the mistake of just firing off their Chemister's Insights and stuff willy-nilly. Go ahead and do that. And we will get a search down. We are running out of gas. Might be time to cast the Krasis. But we do have a Root Snare to buy time. Yeah. So we're gonna discard Frilled Mystic to draw 2. Then we're just gonna draw 2. Play a land. Untap. So we're at 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. So we could try another draw 2 to get another extra turn. So we're gonna do that. We'll discard a Root Snare. I don't think we'll need more than one. We didn't get an extra turn, but we still have 7 mana. So we can Blink of an Eye and Root Snare. Could kick Blink of an Eye and Root Snare. Or we could counterspell and Root Snare. We have to Root Snare. That much is true. We can afford for our opponent to blow up that Reclamation, so we might just let that go. Or we might try to save it. We do know our opponent has Assassin's Trophy, so it's something to consider. It's going to kill our Escanta. I guess we're going to try this. It could be punished with an Assassin's Trophy, but it looks like he doesn't have another one. Alright. So... Actually, I don't know if I'm going to play that Reclamation. I think I'm just going to draw a ton of cards with a Krasis. It's probably our best bet. Well, how many do we draw with Krasis? So we'll draw 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll draw 5 cards. If we do this, we draw 3. Yeah. Krasis gets us much farther through our deck than anything else. So we just need a Root Snare or an extra turn. Oh! Well, that was bad. That was very bad. Ugh. That's annoying. I was thinking 5 drawing. Ugh. That is not good. So we really need to take an extra turn. So let's start by trying to draw cards. Let's discard Frilled Mystic. Anything that doesn't draw cards, we're gonna search. Okay, thankfully we got that. That would have been very embarrassing to lose on a misclick. We'll go ahead and do that. We'll untap more lands this way. Resolve. Go ahead and draw a card with Arch. Take another turn. Okay. Whew, that was close. I thought we were really gonna pay for that misclick. But fortunately this deck is incredibly consistent. So now we're gonna juke our opponent out. They're gonna bring in their Duresses Negates, and they also have stuff like Vivian mainboard. And we're gonna take out our Wilderness Reclamations, we're gonna take out Search for Escanta. We're gonna bring in Ooze, Palaka Worm, Carnage Tyrant. And we're gonna bring in Crushing Canopy to help deal with the Thief of Sanities. And we'll just bring in a negate to help with the Planeswalkers and to help fight their negates. Yeah. That's pretty much where we want to be. We also are bringing the Crushing Canopy to answer Thief of Sanity. This is really the only reason we're bringing it in. But it does have other uses. We can kill Krasis with it. Not many enchantments in this matchup for them, though. Okay, so we have a bunch of lands, a Krasis, and a Tyrant. If we had 2 green, I might actually keep this. But we really need a little bit more action. This is pretty good. I'll leave the Tyrant on top. Tyrant's actually really good in this matchup. And if we can resolve this Search for Escanta, we'll be in really good shape. It looks like we will get to. Alright, so we're looking to mill basically all lands. And it'd be nice if we could get a ramp spell to get to this biogenic ooze in a turn sooner. We don't need another breeding pool. We're that untapped. So we'll be able to Chemister's Insight next turn and then to start dropping big creatures. And hopefully that's enough. If our opponent doesn't play too many big things, it might work. Or they could very much just race us out. Looks like they're looking for lands. I don't know why else they would do that. We don't want more lands. 3, 6, 9. We're almost dead. I'm hoping we can stabilize. We might not actually be able to stabilize. But opponent doesn't know about our creature plan yet. Looks like they might be considering countering this. Blink is pretty good. We're at 1. I think our opponent's clock was just too fast for us. That doesn't save us. Does Krasis save us? No. We could cast a Krasis X3, X1, and bounce something. We're still dead. Yeah. That was too fast of a clock for us. But we're going to run the same plan back on the play. Be a little bit better. Our opponent won't be able to race us down that quick. Because if we could have gotten our biogenic ooze down the turn before they hit us to 1, we would have basically just won the game. Let's go for the play. And this is a pretty expensive hand. Doesn't do much. Only 1 green. This is a lot better. This has a nice growth spiral. We'll keep heavy on lands so that we can enable our growth spiral better. And then we'll get a turn 4 ooze out this game, and our opponent does not have a lot that can answer that. Not cleanly. Oh, let's not do that yet. Let's wait for them to explore. One of the reasons I run Biogenic Ooze as my creature threat of choice in this deck is it can keep up with a Wild Growth Walker. That was actually a really key choice in making choices for my sideboard, was being able to compete with Wild Growth Walker. We will counter anything they cast this turn. I'm just looking for an excuse to counter anything, because we're just going to curve, we're going to play this, and then hopefully that, if we had another land drop. And hope that our opponent can't beat these big dumb creatures. If they miss their land drop, they definitely can't. Looks like they're thinking, or they DC'd like we did in our last round. I'm not sure what's up with the Magic Arena disconnect thing. It seems to be happening to other people too. Alright. Yeah, it looks like our opponent is suffering the same disconnect we were. Oh, their highlighter's moving. Maybe they are here. And they just went AFK for a minute. Oops. Yeah, I guess they were just AFK for a minute. Well, that's gonna make this game pretty much over. It is unfortunate the state of Magic Arena right now, just kind of creating these non-games. But I think there's still a lot you can get out of this. We won't block. We'll just take the 4. I think in this this video, between the matches, there's still a lot of information you can get. And I think our best bet is just to drop a Carnage Tyrant. start really pressuring our opponent. Trooper Cup was pretty good, but we still have a big old Carnage Tyrant and a Blink of an Eye that we can leverage if they try to double triple block. So we're just gonna kick a Blink of an Eye on the Jade Light. Do a little board cleanup. These Brontodons look really bad at our sideboarded deck. They don't really. They just hit our 2 Search for Ascanthus. And otherwise they're 3/4s, which line up pretty badly against all of our creatures. Except Frilled Mystic. They really want that Thought Erasure. Well, I have bad news for you, opponent. I think I'm happy trading this Ooze for anything. Opponent's probably scared to double block. And I think we'll just pass and Frilled Mystic their Thought Erasure. Actually, I'm just going to let them Thought Erasure. I'll just Frilled Mystic anything else they do. Because we have 2 Frilled Mystics, there's no point in denying them a look at our hand. I'd rather just let them take one and counter whatever else they do and kill them with this Carnage Tyrant. Seems pretty good. And if they don't play anything, we'll just Chemist's Insight and get ahead on cards. Oh. Well, I guess I have to counter that one. It's a pretty good draw. I'm going to go ahead and attack with both here, because he can't block my Frilled Mystic with his Thrashing Brontodon, or he dies. So we might as well just trade. Put him at 2, play another threat. And I think our creature sideboard plan is just going to win it here. Our opponent did skip a turn, which was unfortunate. Alright, we will be getting into game, continuing our Mythic climb. Opponent is going to play first, and we will keep this hand. It's pretty okay. Arch is always sad. It's a sad but necessary evil in this deck. We have such strict color requirements. But we are able to cast our Growth Spiral, and we have a couple of Root Snares if this is an aggro matchup, which is pretty awesome. If it's a control matchup, we are pretty favored anyway. Looks like some kind of teamer deck. It could be the Mirror. We'll just go ahead and deploy our Search for Ascanta. We only have one other land, so it makes the Growth Spiral a lot less exciting. Looks like this is teamer aggro. We'll keep that. And we'll put this in tapped. There is a consideration to put it untapped so that we can Growth Spiral and Blink, but I don't want to really fire off my Blink right now. Go ahead, Growth Spiral, end of turn. Get a land. Graveyard the Chemist's Insight. Pretty good value. And put this into play tapped. Yeah. So we're probably mostly going to be using our Blink defensively, or to beat something that's really crazy that they drop. If they drop like a 5-drop here, we'll probably Blink that. Or if they play another Explore creature, we'll probably Blink the Wild Growth Walker. Otherwise, we're probably just going to take it easy and get our Chemist's Insight, cash it in for a Root Snare. Opponent's just going to swing 2, that's fine. Yeah, we'll go ahead and swap out this root snare for 2 cards. Opponent has some sort of instant speed interaction they're holding back. We don't need that. We could cast a Krasis X4. It's not that bad. He does put his shields down for our Ascanta if they have some sort of removal. But I don't really know what removal you need to play around, so I'm just gonna drop this Krasis and see more about what our opponent's actually doing. It could be just a Hadana's Climb deck. It's very possible. Wilderness Reclamation's pretty good. Time to see if they have some sort of interaction. Let us play an untapped land. What do you got, opponent? Nothing. So we will not attack. Instead of just firing off my stuff, I'm going to float my mana first. Just in case our opponent's up to something tricky. So we'll go ahead and untap. Okay, let's fire off our Growth Spiral. Okay, still good. Let's do our Chemist's Insights. Still holding up 4 mana. We can represent a counter. Okay, there's our extra turn. So that'll be good. We have a Blink of an Eye for protection here. We have a Root Snare if we really need it. And we are going to be able to go off next turn. Okay. I don't think we're going to use our mana. I'm just going to keep holding it up just in case our opponent has something crazy. We'll graveyard that. Alright, let's play another Wilderness Reclamation. And let's go ahead and attack. Playing that Krasis on 4 is really good. It acted basically as 2 fogs. Alright, let's float all of our mana. Untap. Cast Nexus of Fate. Looks like our opponent probably doesn't have anything. We'll go ahead and discard a Krasis to draw 2. We don't really need the third one here. Go ahead and float a little bit more mana. We don't need another search either. I'm going to go ahead and discard this one to draw 2 more. 2 Frilled Mystics, which is pretty cool. And let's just draw a card with Arch. I'll hold on to the Blink just in case our opponent's slow rolling something. We'll graveyard that, flip our search, and at this point, with Nexus already in hand, there's basically no way to fizzle this anymore. So I am just gonna take it easy. I'm gonna take an extra turn. Opponent does have a Spell Pierce they've been holding on to. Good thing we've been floating our mana before casting our stuff. Okay, he does have 2 Spell Pierces. But that's okay, we should have no problem finding an additional Nexus here. We're going to get to dig 8 cards in our 30 card deck, so it's pretty likely we're going to get to it. Yes, opponent, you can adapt. Chemist's Insight, let's float all of our mana. Untap, search, Chemist's Insights. We should get it. Maybe we won't. This is still enough mana to cast it. We'll discard a... Let's discard an island. Huh. We did end up not getting it, but that's pretty okay because we're in such a dominating position now. I don't see us losing. We only need 1 Frilled Mystic, and we only need 1. We don't need another search. Search is a luxury, but all we really have to do is just not die this turn, which is going to be pretty easy. I'm not even going to bother fogging. 3, 4, 5, 8. Puts us at 11. There's no way our opponent does 11 damage. Okay, let's just draw a card with this. Let's attack. And we should just be able to... I mean, I'd be impressed if we miss a Nexus this time. Yep, we're looking at a lot of cards. Oopsie, meant to float that mana. Not going to be relevant though. Let's just draw a card. There's a Nexus. We just need to take one more turn and we'll be able to close this match out. Okay, our opponent's just going to scoop it up. So it looks like they're playing the Teamer Climb deck. The creature plan is less good against them, to be honest, because they actually can make their creatures quite huge. So I think I'm probably not going to change very much, if anything. I'm going to look at their deck list real quick. So they bring in Negate, Thrashing Brontodon, Vivian Reed. On second thought, I think I actually probably can compete with their creatures after looking at their deck list a bit closer. So I think I am going to just blank their enchantment removal. Bring in some big boys. We do want Crushing Canopy. They have stuff like Krasis, and they have, of course, the enchantment Adonis Climb. I think this is probably fine. Yeah, that make their negates, Thrashing Brontodons and Vivian Reeds a lot worse. I was thinking they might be running the Ooze themselves, but they actually don't. So it's not as much of a concern. I think our Oozes can probably beat their creatures, just looking over them. We have our land drops, our Crushing Canopy, and a Root Snare. This is honestly pretty tempting. But I think we need more action. Yikes. This is less action, but I really don't want to go to 5. This is a playable 6, and we do get to scry, and we're on the draw. So it's one of those things that makes you feel bad for not keeping the 7, but I think it was still good to go to 6 there, and I think it's fine not to go to 5 here. At the very least, we hit our land drops and maybe get to play a big worm. The hope is that our opponent's boarded into more interaction and less aggression. So they're going to be encouraged to hold up negates and stuff, when in reality it's just going to give us time to assemble things. So like right now they're just going to be aggressively milling things. And no, not milling, they're just going to leave on top. But they are pretty aggressive. Magic 7, this is probably going to be too fast of a clock for us, unfortunately. This opponent is not playing the list that I was looking at for Teamer Climb. They might not even be playing Climb. This might just be like Teamer aggro. But that is a fast kill. So they're playing Rekindling Phoenix. We might have tried to get a little too fancy there. I don't know what they're doing. But when in doubt, just play the combo, especially against Rekindling Phoenix. Rekindling Phoenix is pretty easy to beat with Reclamation. I do think I really want the Fogs. Yeah, no need to get fancy, I don't think. I think I probably made a mistake there trying to transition into creatures. And there's an argument to multi-5 there. I perhaps should have, but I think we're still in okay shape. Based off of what we just saw there, I think our main configuration is actually quite good against them. Center that in tapped. We're going to drop our search for Ascanta first because we're land light. Follow up with the Growth Spiral after getting some looks at our top card. Okay, looks like our opponent is still just on the aggression. Root Snare is a really good card, but we really need to hit our land drops, especially with the Growth Spiral. I want to make use of that. I'd rather just try to outpace our opponent instead of try to slow them down. Okay, opponent's still going to be on that aggression. Disdainful Stroke, important card to keep track of. That also makes me feel better about leaving the main combo in because this card beats our sideboard cards just as much as it beats our main board cards. Opponent is probably looking for lands, that's why they just milled both of those. We go ahead and Growth Spiral now. We do get a Reclamation, which is pretty good. We can play the Reclamation, hold up the Mystic. I'm going to mill that. We really just want to find some extra turns and flip our Ascanta as fast as possible. Once we flip Ascanta, we basically win. We'll eat this hit if nothing else happens. And then Chemisters at the end of turn. If we're lucky, he tries to kill our Search or Wilderness Reclamation, and we can counter it with Frilled Mystic. If he does it before combat, it's even better because then we can block the 4/3. Well, so he's not going to try to kill our enchantment. 7, 8. He hits us for 8, puts us to 9. If he does this, I think we just let this go. I don't really want to. It'd feel great to counter that and kill the Jade Light, but I think we just need to draw cards and try to combo off quicker. Opponent did get a land. So we'll eat 8, go to 9. Opponent is probably representing negate there. No. Okay, so we have a shot to maybe try to win. Just graveyard that. We don't really benefit from extra lands. So we can Crisis X4, gain 2, go to 11, block that, take 4, 5, 6. That keeps us alive another turn and potentially gets us to where we need. We could also flashback this and try to get an extra turn this turn. But that seems a little less likely than I would like it to be, and this is a much safer play. So I'll take the safer play that basically guarantees us another turn. Blink of an Eye is a pretty good card. We have a counterspell to protect ourselves. If he goes straight to combat, we'll probably just not kick the blink and bounce the Wild Growth Walker so that we can hold up our counter spells. If he casts something not relevant, we'll probably just kick the Blink of an Eye. And if he casts something relevant, we'll Frilled Mystic it. That's not that relevant, honestly. I'm okay with him doing a bit more exploring. I think our opponent's just looking for lands to drop their Vivian Reed, maybe. No, he could have dropped a Vivian Reed if he wanted to. He considered that. I guess he just wants lands. Maybe it's a Carnage Tyrant. Opponent could be holding up Negate. We might not be able to afford to kick the Blink of an Eye. So let's see what he attacks with. So I'm going to not kick the Blink of an Eye. I'm going to take it safe because I don't want to get horribly blown out. This way, if he has a negate, we can Counter it with Frilled Mystic, and then we can block this with our Frilled Mystic and this with our Branch. Okay. Looks like we're just gonna get to kill this. Or should we trade? I think we'll just kill this. Yeah, I think I want the Krasis alive. If our opponent taps out, we can feel safe about trying to go off next turn. Yeah, it's going to finish off that. That's okay though. That does guarantee our Escant to flip no matter what we see on top, so that's kind of handy. Yep, we'll do that, we'll do that. So we are in really good shape now. We're going to take an extra turn, go to our end step, float our mana, and activate search. We are in really, really good shape. Got an extra turn. We'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and bounce the Jade Light preemptively and draw a card. So we will get an extra turn here as well. 2 mana in the bank. Go ahead and float. Activate search. Grab a Root Snare, which isn't awful. We still have an extra turn. I'm going to go ahead and flash in a Frilled Mystic and start getting the beatdown going. So activate search. Get a search. Play that. Play this. We'll not attack this time. I think I want the blocker just in case we don't get an extra turn here. Well, we have pretty good odds too. There we go. Nexus, cast the Nexus. Oh, we can leave that on top. That makes it really hard to fizzle. 2. Okay, so we'll activate this, and if it's an extra turn, we're just going to start attacking to try to win. It's not an extra turn, but we do have a Root Snare, so we don't necessarily need to hold back blockers. Float our mana, activate search. Search is usually the most efficient way to use your mana. So even when you're getting all these card draw spells, it's usually best just to float all your mana, activate the search, and then cast your card draw spells later after you've done all your search activations. Okay, still no extra turn, but we're going to get to draw 4 more. To dig for it. No search. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana, so we can spend 2. So we can do this. There we go. We had to dig quite a lot for that one. Graveyard that. And this is pretty much impossible to fizzle now. With 4 reclamations, we're making a lot of mana. We might even just be able to draw our deck. Take that. Cast our Nexus of Fate. Activate. Grab Nexus of Fate. We're going to have to take a few more turns to end the game. Okay, our opponent's going to scoop it up though, make it easier. They were at quite a pretty high life total from their Wild Growth Walker. Whew, good games guys, good games.